Hi, my name is Rocco, and today we are going to have a monthly reading for the month of November 2017. So it's been a while since we last met, but nevertheless, it's going to be a pleasure. Today I'm going to use the Fairy Tale Tarot, which is quite dark, but still fairy magic oriented. It's more about the dark fairies, so to speak. These cards are in Spanish, but I got them over here in Italy. And we've got Spain so close to us, and yet so far away. So, I am going to draw two cards, one for the first part of November and one for the second half of it, which are going to tell us what the deal is with the upcoming month. So almost getting ready for both Halloween and Christmas, which are going to be certainly in our hearts, some of us. Now, it's going to be, next week though, I want to spend a few words on it too. It's going to be quite victorious as well. So I've got, for the first half of the month, I've got the 7 for the ones watching, 7 of spades, swords, others would say spears. And we got for the second half of the month the beautiful King of the Crosses, who isn't Jesus. And the fairy-minded person in the card is looks like a fairy king. Due to his eyes, I could tell that it's a demon. So it's possibly a vampire because, as you all know, I'm sure, demons came out of angels and vampires were sliced with lemon to the fairy kingdom. So the first part of the next month is going to be, sorry, it was reversed, the 7 of Swords, right? 7 of Swords reversed is a pointer that things are not going right, and obviously, as most reverse cards, and in the specific of this card, it's a sign that the universe has been supposedly in your favor lately, but indeed not. So get ready for a journey into the deception that was put onto you for you to believe in. So everything that you've hated in the past will see revision. This is at a highest spiritual level, and once you get that right, certainly the consequences of this will come true to you, even in the way that you eat your broccoli pasta, or in the way that you stew around your soup, and things like that that aren't typically part of magic. Or even in witchcraft, we don't have a stew really, we have an image of a stew. Second part of next month is going to be magnificent. See, you have, this being is almost angel-like. So he'd seem one of the friends of the goddess Astaroth, if she had ever had vampire friends. And alchemically, it's going to be a month for sorry, for perfection. So it's going to be a month when you know how to use your tools for wisdom and for the new word that's coming. So we don't have a new world order really, but we have the New World, which isn't America only, but the New World is somewhere where the three credos, uh, Muslims, Jewish people, and Christians are not so much Christians in the open, are trying to make you believe, and this is not the true Christ, but it's they're trying to put it across, as it were, that my point is that these three religions, who are the main religions that were to come into one religion, as God is one in Christian terms, and have not come together with peace. And hints of it are in the Muslim terrorism. Now, for as much as we can say that actually Jehovah wasn't born to be a warrior, or he wasn't born to be a true God, or he wasn't born to be a peacekeeper, but truly he was born to be good in his own way. And these people, as even if we know that the principle that they're trying to follow, God, isn't really the devil, but what it is that the devil is a strength that you have to understand. These people are not serving the highest good of all, because the Quran, or the Noble Quran, won't give specific instructions on when the Holy War or the Holy Wars have been battled. Now, the Prophet Muhammad, the prophet to that religion, already battled these battles of glory in the past. So people who are coming nowadays with the presumptuousness to be even more glorious than Muhammad is something that is not quite right. So if you Muslims need guidance, you need to know that the truth that you're following is a different truth, and it's not a truth of death or violence. And this thing of imposing violence in order to promote a principle that gave life is not going far, because Satan eventually, or even the true God that you claim to follow, or Pan, or other beings are trying to ascend the master. So there's going to be someone or something stopping you, and at the end of it, people are going to read it as these people are possessed by the devil, and the devil is or was guiding them towards death and suicide. And these people, through suicide, thought to meet God, but eventually they met hell. So it's really an enigma to me how Christians these days do not have originality in their speeches. Muslims bring forth war or the desire for death, and eventually the Jewish people are still killing in the name of Jehovah and spreading blood over Jesus' blood in the Holy Land, because they think that someone has sent them a love letter that still has to come through, and some type of message that they still have to read. But these Jewish people are, according to what is my opinion, they're not ready for the true Messiah that will come forth, because it's not through bloodshed. So we have Judaism, we have Islam, and then we have Christianity. So bloodshed and ignorance. It's not through murder. It's not through, to put it all under one string, it's not through blind murder that people conquer Jehovah. So this was the idea of the devil, to put forth that message of dishonor, saying you betrayed me and I betrayed you. But if given you are more powerful than I am, wouldn't I be empowered to do certain things in order to advance your religion to the point that I could advance it if you gave me the opportunity to do certain things that I would have not even thought of doing when I was first created? So this thing is going out of control. For us the common people, so to speak, you have to follow the idea of being a spirit of light in nature, and being wearing your mask when others see you, and not wearing it when you are alone. So there are going to be times in history when people are going to be upset, people are going to die, and things are going to happen because we are. This is the other side of the story that New Age didn't prepare us for. You have to be prepared for the New Age that's coming, that will eventually bring happiness, but in order to get there, we'll have to get through different stages in history and different points that will lead us to conquer what is the highest mountain of them all, which is the mountain of Israel, where the true God will be revealed for his nature and his betrayal, and especially his deceit, making the Holy Land a place where Jesus died, and a place where Jesus is not trusted. So a place where Jesus brings danger. And this is the furthest humiliation for those people who truly thought they were going to be saved because they were racist, or they were white, or they followed someone without discrimination. And although God is that principle to be followed unconditionally, sometimes one can have a difficulty in understanding the message of Jehovah. One can have difficulties in understanding even the message of Lucifer, although he's more straightforward sometimes when he tries to advance you. So people are following the gospel of Jesus today, like Doreen Virtue, who is trying to follow, trying to note down everything that she needs to know before she passes away. You know, my daughter is a bitch, I am a bitch, and I'm going to need a stitch. And you know, that's what she's putting forward. You know, it's going to be psycho. Like, they're going to call Anthony Perkins, and she's possibly going to go on the electric chair in heaven if people discover the way that I discovered her. And you know, if you want to know, we're going to ask the cards what is the future of Doreen Virtue after having used Jesus in the wrong way. Or I'm going to ask what is the image that Doreen Virtue has put forward since she was born in this life so far, for the excuse that she adopted, that she was given the privilege to see Jesus, who is someone that she possibly, if she was baptized, you don't give baptism to people who are in sin. You don't give baptism to people who are arrogant. You don't give baptism to people who haven't been cleansed. You don't give baptism to people who were baptized. You don't give baptism to people who are cruel. You don't give baptism to people who are divorced because they need to be clean according to the sacred rota, sacred wheel of the Vatican, meaning the Vatican has to invalidate every religious marriage that is in order for another religious marriage to take place. And if your marriage isn't religious, then it should be dissolved. So as you see, when when you try to improv, being a spiritual teacher, while everyone else became to be thanks to you, then you don't know what the consequences are. And the consequences of what Doreen Virtue is saying, I'm putting this guidance on top of what I'm saying because I don't trust Doreen Virtue any longer. And so shouldn't you. But everything that she's put out, as long as it's available, then if she didn't curse it to the core, then possibly it's going to be valid. It's going to be still valid. So if you want to see it, try to shield yourself a lot, like with ritual. I recommend to all the viewers of this video 4 spells. First, you take out, I'm going to give you different spirits sent out to you, so that one of them is one of the legionnaires of Lucifer, others are fairies, and so on, a unicorn. I'm going to give out these beings of light to you because they are, they have been given to me, and I'm going to give them to you. So, oh, I haven't inquired about Dream Virtue's future, so I want to know it all. I'm getting the idea that she did it all wrong and she renounced the same principle that was the essential part of her soul. So philosophically, I found her inconsistent. But again, she's not a philosopher. We have the 9 of Roses is in this deck, so the 9 of Hearts reversed. So 9 of Cups is your dreams coming true and your dreams not coming true. So if you want to verify the authenticity of Dream Virtue and her latest conversion, I recommend, I'm going to post it in my blog and in others, that you connect to one day to the angels or to Mother Mary, who is the Queen of Angels. You pray to Mary. If you don't believe in the Mother of God, then you haven't read the Gospels, and the Gospels are really part of the Bible. And if someone is trying to provoke you into having you demonstrate the Word of God, then that someone is certainly the devil. So as much as it can be, Dream Virtue isn't the devil, but Dream Virtue isn't Dream Virtue either. Dream Virtue is some type of spooky figure that people can even curse, I think, because she doesn't know what she's doing, and she doesn't know what she's put her family onto, and she doesn't know what a man is, because she renounced having her husband keep his royal name because she has virtue. So I noticed that shortly after protecting myself from Dream Virtue, I asked a demon, not in ritual though, in a prayer, Belial, to protect me against Dream Virtue, and I noticed that right after I did so, she started selling her home and going to Africa and doing all these things that she thought to be holy because an angel told her. But angels know, and ascended masters know, prophets know, God knows, and especially people know that Dream Virtue is not following Christ when she's trying to conjure evil to destroy her life. What is the effect of what she's doing in her own happiness, in the way that you have the permission given by God to perceive? And a woman that tries to dimmer or outshine your light constantly isn't a woman of the gospel. A woman who tries to tell you that she's going to leave where she is because she's going to keep that promise, to show you what it is to be a true Christian. Now that she's still studying the Bible, she is arrogant because she's trying to show you that in 2 months and after a vision that only saints and prophets can have, according to some monolithic parts of Christianity. Basically, she's not knowing. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she's found her philosophy to be inconsistent. So I'm going to give this video on to churches in Hawaii and to see if Aloha will aloha. So I suggest you do 3 rituals. So 1 black candle to uncover everything negative that Doreen Virtue gave humanity since her first incarnation, so on. Satan says that there's going to be at least 3,000 people. People doing it today or within 10 days are going to summon demons. Subsequently, people who are going to summon in the next 15 days are going to employ the energies of the angels and so forth. And if she's strong in Christ, she will resist the temptation of Satan when he said, try to do something for your son. So I want to thank you, and I wanted to shed light on what it is my current spiritual path. So I have been a witch or wizard since my first incarnation here on earth, which we approximately had, me and my soulmate, about 10,000 years ago, like every one of you. It was 10,000 years ago or 9,500 years ago as the 2 limits. And there's been rumors about past lives and incarnations, but I take for granted that you trust me in everything that I say. And I won't let you down in this life from the standpoint that I chose to be a spiritual teacher, which is something that Doreen Virtue can no longer be trusted as, even though she continues to be a spiritual teacher of the gospel, where she wasn't ordained a monk, she wasn't ordained an evangelist, she wasn't ordained a priest. We have met her in past lives, and we have made it so that she'd leave her husband today or soon, and that she destroy her family, and that she would like it. And all these things are coming true to her now, because she has no spiritual power, as this is something that the church she now believes in because she saw God, is something that protected her, and so on and so forth. So who hasn't seen God, really? Who inside a church, who hasn't talked to God? Again, she's using that pedestal to tell us that she's the one and only who's sucking cock. She's the one and only who's, you know, jerking off Jesus. She's the one and only who can touch onto him, and she's the one and only goddess of mercy, full faith. So it takes much more than arrogance to be who you want to be in life. It takes much more than ignorance to teach, and it takes much more than being violated to being able to enjoy sex. So the husband she chose was the King of France in a past life. So anyone who desires to take his place in a future life can contact me in private, and I will assign him to destroy what he's made and to make France great again in future life. This is like a role play game, okay? Including the information of Doreen Virtue is good, Doreen Virtue is God, and especially pray to your goddess Doreen Virtue today if you want to be one of the gods in the next life. Aloha.